he's able just to get himself back to the pits at this stage. And certainly for Honda, there was some big news during the gap between Argentina and this weekend with the confirmation of their rider lineup for next year.
Yes, Iker Lecuona and Xavi Vierge will join HRC for 2022 onwards. We already knew that both Leon Haslam and Alvaro Bautista were departing. Bautista departing, frankly, because he wanted to move back to Ducati machinery, on which he was so successful in the 2019 campaign, of course, with that run of victories at the start of the season in particular. And it looks like Leon Haslam, although he appeared keen to stay, was not the first choice. Very different philosophy for HRC at the moment, to try and pull riders across from the MotoGP paddock in a hope of giving themselves an elusive world championship.
Yeah, I was asking Leon Camier about that, the team manager, and he said that they are making that change in philosophy for next year, bringing in 2 young riders. Obviously 2 years spent with Alvaro Bautista and Leon Haslam has brought that package quite a bit forward, but now they want to try and make that next step, and making that change of riders. I was asking him, as a rider, because obviously Leon Camier, one of the most experienced riders we ever had in World SBK, I was asking him, as a rider, how is that to make that change? How is it to make that transition? And Camier said, a bike's a bike, and you've got to be able to figure out how to get the most from it. Obviously learning the Pirellis is going to be a bit of a struggle for them, but that's going to be the big task. And what we've seen from the likes of we got a crasher there, and it looks like it's Oliver Koenig that's gone down.
So making his debut this weekend in World SBK, Koenig, with just over 30 minutes remaining in free practice 1. It is Koenig who has gone down just on the exit of one of the chicanes, by the looks of things.
Yeah, you can see Oliver there. He's in what looks like Cresson's leathers, but certainly it is Oliver that's gone down. He does actually have some superbike experience. He raced in the Endurance World Championship at Most at the season closing round this year, and actually was pretty competitive on it. But you can see there, just gets a bit of a kick from the bike there as it comes to a halt. That's through turn 3, so right at the start of the lap, that little bit of a flip-flop.
Yes, so we were quite rightly cautious there, trying to ascertain whether the number and the name didn't quite match up, but we called it. Oliver Koenig then going down. World SBK debut, as we've said, this weekend. And as you said, Steve, as well, looks on paper like a very big step, doesn't it, to go straight from Supersport 300 into World SBK. And he may well find that's the case as well, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real tough task for him all the way through this weekend. There can't really be any level of expectation on Oliver, and his big issue is now going to be trying to get back to the pits, see if he can get that bike back out at the end of this session, because losing a half an hour of track time is really bad for any rider over the course of a race weekend. But if this is the first time you've been on the World SBK machine, it's even more important for Koenig just to be able to get himself back out there. Just
a quick word, Loris Cresson, of course, suffering injuries earlier on in this campaign. Just over 30 minutes remaining in this free practice 1, and it's top track Razgatlioglu who leads the way by 0.8 of a second ahead of Michael Ruben Rinaldi. Jonathan Ray, third fastest, so the gap has come down between Razgatlioglu and the rest.
Yeah, it's going to come right down now as well, with Rinaldi on a very